Alright guys, so in this video we're going to look at actually writing a response to question 4 using the things that we annotated in the last video for this question on the Rosabel text. So as you can see, we are looking at how the writer shows that the girl has many advantages in life, right? So what kind of advantages does she have? Is it money? Is it position? Is it beauty even? We could talk about. What is it that she has that gives her advantages? And then, does Rosabel have a right to be angry with her when she gets angry later on in the text? Remember that it's always easier to agree, and that you need to explain that why. Alright, so remember that the mark scheme for this question, the most important thing that gets you into those top levels is the clear and relevant or critical and detailed response to the focus of the question, or the statement in this case. So we need to be focusing only on, does the redhead girl have advantages, and how does the writer show that? And does Rosabel have a right to be angry, and why? What does the writer do to show us she has a right to be angry? So I'm actually going to use, I'm going to go with the Rosabel being angry part, because I think that that's probably a place that people might struggle a bit. And what I want to look at is I want to look at this first instance of her beginning to get angry. She's not angry yet, but it is a reaction. So it says she's almost in despair. And this actually ties in with the girl having advantages, because it goes into, as you'll see, the reason for her despair, that they had been hard to please because they were demanding the impossible. So let's have a look at how we would write that up. So we're going to start with our how, as always, but we're going to work with how does the writer suggest Rosabel should be angry or has a right to be angry. So what I'm going to say, using this quote, right, you always start with the understanding of the quote for question 4, is I'm going to write that the writer suggests Rosabel should, or has a right, let's go with that, has a right to be angry because of the, how would we word this? Let's say, so the writer suggests Rosabel has a right to be angry because they treat her so badly. Right? So everything we're going to talk about is why, the fact that they treat her so badly gives her a right to be angry. So again, so that's our how. How does the writer suggest Rosabel should be angry? Because they treat her so badly. Now we could use multiple quotes, but I'm going to stick with that first bit to talk about it. So where? Right. When it says she was almost in despair because, now here I need to have two quotes to give it some context, right? So when it says she was almost in despair because they had been so hard to please. So there's my where. Now again, I haven't mentioned my method yet, but I'm getting there. So because they'd been so hard to please, the use of the adjective, there's my method, despair, suggests they had pushed her to a near breaking point with all of their impossible, and I'm going to put that in quotes because it said that in the text, impossible requests and demands. Right? So that's my why. Why does that suggest that she should be angry? Or is because they had pushed her to a near breaking point, right? She's in despair. She's at a breaking point because she can't seem to please them. So then my what, right? So why does that make me agree or disagree? What effect does that have on my understanding of Rosabel and her relationship with these people? So this makes me, and again, don't do makes me interested to read on or anything like that. You need to use think, feel, imagine, wonder. What does that actually make you think? So this makes me actually sympathize with poor Rosabel because she cannot seem to please these high maintenance, probably spelled wrong, don't care. Remember, reading questions, spelling doesn't count. She cannot seem to please these high maintenance customers, but must keep trying in order to keep her job. Right? So I sympathize with her. So more than just, agree, think, imagine, or wonder. I sympathize with her because why? Right? So again, because why do I sympathize with her? She cannot seem to please these high maintenance customers, but must keep trying in order to keep her job. Now this is a really good starter paragraph if I'm going to stick with the Rosabel being angry bit, because then I could go into when she actually gets angry on the back, right? And talk about how the sarcastic statements by the red-haired girl pushes her over the edge. Yeah, and connects that to the fact that they were, really demanding, and Rosabel was already at a breaking point. So remember to keep, even in your separate paragraphs, try to connect them in question 4 because they likely are connected. So from there, in the next video, I'm gonna look at 3 examples of responses, proper student examples to these questions, or to this question, and we're gonna look at a level 3, and then we're gonna look at 2 other levels and talk about what they are and why they are. So